What if one of the biggest stories in the WNBA wasn't a game-winning shot, a record-breaking performance, or a heated rivalry between teams? What if it was a question that fans across the league suddenly started asking at the same time? Was Caitlin Clark being treated differently by the officials? That question exploded across social media after another intense game, another controversial whistle, and another wave of reactions from fans who felt they were seeing the same pattern over and over again. Some people believed Clark was being unfairly targeted. Others said the criticism of officials had gone too far. And right in the middle of it all stood the biggest name in women's basketball. So what really happened? Let's go through the story. Ever since Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA, almost everything around her has been magnified. Every shot, every turnover, every hard foul, every referee decision. The attention surrounding Clark is unlike anything the league has experienced in years. Millions of new viewers started watching games. Ticket sales increased. Arenas filled up. Television ratings climbed. And with all that attention came something else. Every controversial moment instantly became national news. Throughout her rookie season and beyond, fans frequently debated whether Clark was receiving enough protection from officials. There were games where she absorbed heavy contact while driving to the basket. There were moments when opponents played her physically. And there were possessions where fans believed fouls should have been called but weren't. As clips spread online, discussions became more intense. Many supporters argued that Clark was being officiated differently than other stars. Others pushed back and said she was simply adjusting to the physical nature of professional basketball. The debate never completely disappeared. Then came another game that reignited everything. The matchup was already attracting attention. Fans were watching closely. Every possession felt important. And as the game unfolded, frustration started building. Several calls drew reactions from the crowd. Players expressed disagreement. Coaches looked frustrated. And social media began filling with clips almost immediately. One referee's name started appearing repeatedly in online discussions. Tyler Mirkovich. Before long, fans were reviewing plays, posting screenshots, and analyzing calls frame by frame. The internet did what it always does during major sports controversies. Everyone became an expert. Everyone had an opinion. And everyone believed they knew what really happened. As the conversation grew louder, some posts went even further. Instead of criticizing individual calls, certain fans began suggesting something more serious. They wondered whether Clark was being intentionally targeted. That claim quickly spread. Headlines appeared. Videos were uploaded. Debates erupted across sports media. The story became bigger than a single game. It became part of a larger conversation that had been building for months. But here's where things become important. Despite countless rumors and dramatic social media posts, there has been no verified public statement from Caitlin Clark confirming that a referee deliberately targeted her. That's a critical detail. Because in the age of viral clips, speculation often travels faster than facts. A single controversial moment can generate thousands of comments within minutes. Before anyone checks the full context, a narrative can already be everywhere. That doesn't mean fans are wrong to question calls. Sports fans have always debated officiating. That's part of the game. But there is a major difference between criticizing decisions and proving intent. One is opinion. The other requires evidence. As the controversy continued, many observers focused on Clark's actual responses. Throughout her career, one thing has remained remarkably consistent. She usually directs attention back toward basketball. Even after frustrating losses. Even after physical games. Even after controversial moments. Her public comments have generally centered on improving, competing, and helping her team win. That doesn't mean she never gets frustrated. Every elite athlete gets frustrated. The best players in the world argue calls. They disagree with officials. They react emotionally during competition. That's normal. What makes Clark's situation unique is the sheer amount of attention surrounding every interaction. A disagreement that might go unnoticed for another player can become a national discussion when Clark is involved. Every facial expression gets analyzed. Every conversation with a referee gets clipped. Every moment becomes content. And that creates a challenging environment not only for players, but also for officials. Referees already have one of the toughest jobs in sports. They must make split-second decisions while thousands of fans are screaming around them. Then millions of viewers watch replays from multiple angles. The referee gets one look in real time. The audience gets 10 slow-motion replays. It's an impossible comparison. Of course, officials make mistakes. Every league acknowledges that. The NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, the WNBA. No officiating crew is perfect. The real question is whether mistakes represent ordinary human error or something more intentional. And that's where debates often become complicated. Supporters of Clark point to multiple examples they believe show a pattern. They argue that she absorbs significant contact. They believe some calls are missed. They feel she deserves more protection. Critics of that argument respond differently. They say star players across all sports receive intense defensive attention. They argue physical play is part of professional basketball. They believe many controversial moments look different when viewed in full context, rather than isolated clips. Both sides present arguments. Both sides point to evidence. And both sides remain convinced they're correct. Meanwhile, Clark keeps playing. That's the fascinating part of this entire story. While social media debates rage for days, athletes still have games to prepare for. Film sessions, practices, travel schedules, recovery work, team meetings. The basketball season never stops. For players, dwelling on every controversial whistle isn't practical. The next game is always coming. And that's exactly why many coaches emphasize focusing only on controllable factors. Effort, preparation, execution, defense, rebounding, decision-making. Those things can be controlled. Referee decisions cannot. Some of the greatest athletes in history have followed that philosophy. Instead of spending energy fighting circumstances, they focus on performance. That approach doesn't eliminate frustration, but it helps athletes move forward. As the season progressed, the discussion around officiating remained a major topic. Broadcasters talked about it. Former players discussed it. Fans argued about it endlessly. Every new game seemed to add another chapter. Sometimes the conversation calmed down. Then another controversial play would happen and everything would start again. That's the reality of modern sports. Stories never really end. They evolve. One clip leads to another. One debate creates the next debate. And when the player at the center of the story is someone as popular as Caitlin Clark, the attention becomes even more intense. The league itself also finds itself in a unique position. The WNBA has experienced tremendous growth. New audiences are watching. New fans are learning the game. Expectations are rising. With increased visibility comes increased scrutiny. Every decision is examined more closely. Every controversy becomes bigger. Every mistake becomes a headline. In some ways, that's a sign of growth. People care deeply. People are paying attention. But it also means every story can become amplified beyond its original scope. A missed call becomes a viral video. A viral video becomes a national debate. A national debate becomes a narrative. And narratives can be very difficult to stop once they gain momentum. That's why facts matter. It's important to separate confirmed information from speculation. It's important to distinguish what actually happened from what people assume happened. And it's important to remember that viral claims are not automatically true simply because they're popular. When fans hear headlines suggesting that Caitlin Clark confirmed she was targeted, they should always ask a simple question. What exactly did she say? Where did she say it? Is there a verified source? Those questions matter, because sports history is full of moments where rumors spread much faster than reality. A dramatic headline can attract attention. A controversial claim can generate millions of views. But accuracy still matters. And accuracy becomes especially important when discussing officials, players, coaches, and professional reputations. As for Clark herself, her focus appears unchanged. Compete. Improve. Win games. That's been the foundation of her basketball journey from college to the professional level. The spotlight around her may be enormous. The expectations may be massive. The debates may never completely disappear. But the objective remains the same. Play basketball. And perhaps that's the most interesting lesson from this entire controversy. While the internet searches for villains, heroes, conspiracies, and dramatic explanations, the actual game continues. Players keep competing. Coaches keep coaching. Officials keep officiating. Fans keep debating. The cycle repeats. And every new game creates another opportunity for a fresh conversation. Whether someone believes Clark receives fair treatment, unfair treatment, or something in between, one fact is impossible to ignore. She has become one of the most discussed athletes in sports. Not just in women's basketball. In sports, period. Every game attracts attention. Every performance generates headlines. Every controversy becomes a major story. Very few athletes reach that level of influence. And with that influence comes constant scrutiny. The pressure is enormous. The expectations are relentless. Yet the spotlight keeps growing. So did Caitlin Clark publicly confirm that referee Tyler Mirkovich deliberately targeted her? As of the information publicly available, there is no verified confirmation from Clark making that specific accusation. What does exist is a passionate debate among fans, ongoing discussions about officiating, and countless opinions about how games are being called. And that debate is likely far from over. Because the next close game is coming. The next controversial whistle is coming. The next viral clip is coming. And when it happens, millions of people will once again be watching, analyzing, arguing, and asking questions. That's sport. That's competition. And that's the reality of being at the center of one of basketball's biggest spotlights. For now, the discussion continues, the games go on, and the search for the truth remains one of the most fascinating stories in the WNBA today.